Thank you. I appreciate it. Athena, I'm back to the energy centers. Would it be fair to say that the human energy centers organize and create the energetic patterns required to bring spirit into physical form? I.e., would they be the designers of our human form prior to anything physical um, coming to be, if
Yeah.
you
Well,
understand what
they hold the history of the lineage of the human experience, and then they are being added onto while you are experiencing. So the energy centers they come in with you and they go out with you. Yeah. So everything that is contained within your field is that is a connection between this divinity aspect of yourself that is living at the same time as you are as a human. So there is this communication. One of the things we like to be really clear about is this outside cause business or other people influencing you or doing something to you in your experience, to take that out of the equation. All of the emotional exchange that you are having within yourself is an indicator that you are either coming closer to what you have created by all you have felt, or you are distancing yourself from it. And so if you choose to be angry and hang on to it, or you choose to hate yourself in anger and think it is a bad emotion to have, you will continue to stay in that emotion. It won't get released from the field, and you'll lower down your vibratory tone, which is connected to your source, of which flow comes to. So it has felt your anger. It knows what you prefer because of it. It has cultivated a higher level experience through its massive grid and network, of which all are a part of, and all of you are emanating from the same source. So in some sense, everyone that you look at is you. It's the same thing. Yeah. But to get the understanding that you are connected to this source part of yourself through your individual experience in what you prefer to feel in it. And when you choose something that does not match the preferred experience, you suffer. That's what happens. And the more that you continue along that way of thinking, the more energy, the more mirrors that come into your experience, and the more negativity that builds up in your field, the more you suffer. We're not saying that it's not real. We're not saying that it feels good, but you have to understand that the universal part of you, the agreement that it has, is to match you in the signals that you are sending, so that it could flow to you a preferred reality. Hopefully, when you start feeling things, you can decide, is this my preferred reality? Well, for most people, oftentimes it's not. Yeah. So then you kind of recognize that I have been creating a suffering, and therefore I'm having a lot of things that are coming into my experience that are representing the negativity I'm in the way that I feel. And so now I can make an adjustment. I can know that there is a preferred reality created by that. So I haven't done anything wrong. I don't have anything to condemn. I don't have anything to judge. I don't have anything to get out of there. I have to wake up. I have to be aware of myself in the way that I'm thinking and feeling. And then in this awareness, give access to that flow part of myself, who then takes care of dissipating the energy. You know, if you are trying to do something other than feel your experience, you've gone into unconsciousness. That's your cue or your key. Am I feeling my experience right now? Or am I trying to create someone else's experience? Or am I condemning or judging? Or am I blaming, judging somebody outside of myself as a cause for how I feel? Now I've left consciousness. I've left the connection to my source. So when I am in awakeness, when I am aware and I am observing how I'm thinking and feeling, now I have brought in full consciousness, which is the divinity aspect of yourself. We don't think that can make it more simpler. We are always looking for ways to communicate to humans that we can make it more simple for you. We don't, this isn't supposed to be difficult. There is a perfect mechanism with the human in place. You have an agreement here. You get to come in and feel your experience, and you can use all your past lives, your lineage, everything you have. You can take every stinking thing that you've ever felt, and you're allowed to feel it. And so certain things are going to make you respond in ways that they might not others. But you are individually creating a preferred reality for yourself. You have that right. That is your free will. That's what free will is. I get to pick and choose how I feel in my experience based upon everything that I have ever felt and my lineage has felt. And so the divinity part of you is receiving that individualistic spark of itself in a view of itself in what it prefers in its experience, and it's expanding itself and the world because of it, you see.
Yes. So it sounds like a simple key would be to honor our experiences and to surrender to the flow.
Absolutely. And that would include when you don't want to do that. I'm
Yes.
stuck, I'm
Yeah.
stuck right now. I don't like this. I'm
Yeah.
sick, as the host said. Yeah. I'm going to try
Yeah.
to make
Just
myself feel better. Don't ever try to make yourself feel better because you have been received in what you felt and it has already been used in creativeness. It's already out. It's already gone. Yeah.
yes. Yes. Just to receive it and let it flow, not to hold on.
We like the analogy really. We want you to look at everything as being for you because it is, you
Uh-huh.
see. Yeah.
It's all experience. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Um, right before we go to Susie, just to sort of piggyback on that a little bit, you talked about the spin and I go back to Walter Russell's drawings of the spins of the chakras. And is that actually what's happening as the light or energy from behind the veil comes into this reality? The chakras are spinning at a specific speed, which creates a specific harmonic, which then creates our experience.
Yes.
And when we go into the lower emotions, anger, fear, these types of things, then it spins more of the lower chakras, the lower
Yeah,
energy.
but don't make the emotion the problem. We don't want to move back to this right and
You,
wrong, good and
sure,
bad. Yeah,
sure, sure.
we want to get back to the free will, the accepting, the surrendering to what is felt, and that spin isn't going to be affected. That emotion is going to kick right out of that energy center and be gone in creation. The only reason that it stays, and you should be very cognizant or mindful of repeat experiences and the way that they make you feel. Now you know I'm containing energy. I'm slowing my field down. I haven't released something that I am hanging on to. And so now I just want to move to love and compassion and understanding and say, oh, I know that's been received. I know you're still hanging on to it. Yeah, because I'm getting a mirrored result. So I talk to myself. I make myself known to myself. We can't stress enough that the relationship that you have with the divine is one that's cultivated. It is one that the more that you commune with yourself in the way that you are thinking and feeling, the more connective you will become to it and the more flow that will come to you because of it, you see.
And that's ultimately everything goes back to unconditional love, where we unconditionally love perhaps these so-called heavier emotions.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that
Self-love
releases it.
is I accept myself and surrender to the way that I'm feeling my experience.
And
That's
that
what it is.
allows us to move into the higher vibrations if we go
Yeah.
back to the lower ones.
Immediately that would go right out of your field with that observation. Ah, to hell with it. I'm
Yeah,
jealous as hell. I don't care. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
sending up a signal. I have that awareness gone.
excellent. It's just when we hang on to it is when it continues to
I am this
slow down.
person nobody likes. I am jealous. I'm
Oh,
attaching to it. I can see them looking at me that way. They don't like me. Yeah. So I start to use all the outside data as a
mhm.
cause for how I'm feeling now. Yeah, it's true.
Instead of just acknowledging that it's just coming from me.
Yes, it's just
Okay,
coming from. Yeah.
awesome. All right, Susie, go ahead.
Sorry, just on the same topic again, I'm just further wanting understanding. So do we come in with specifics? So would we say we're wanting to experience a freedom and we're showing mirrors which can show us the opposite, which guides us in a direction, or is it just
Well,
a continual flow of experience?
that's a concept that people, I think they think it sounds good, but you're
Mm-hmm.
creating your own experience. Right now, you're creating your own experience. It's rolling out in front of you. And if you continue to think and be the same way that you are today, you're going to run into it. That experience is eventually going to be coming to fruition. Yeah. And so when you leave the plane, you're bringing all that, you're rolling all that data in with you. And so circumstances and situations are going to roll out in front of you that are going to enact you, that are going to show you how you're creating in your experience. And so, whether you want to say, a human isn't coming here to suffer. We've had this conversation, I think, with a few of you the last time. A human is coming here to learn to create as a God in form. That's why you're here. And so, as you come into your experience and things start to roll out from you that perhaps are not to your liking or what you want to materialize, that is the time for you to recognize, how you are creating, observe it, and then make the appropriate adjustment in the love of self, in the acceptance and in the surrender of how you have felt, so that now that gets removed out of your field, out of your energy centers. And when you're rolling out lives, future lifetimes that are coming, those situations and circumstances won't be used as a stimulant. So there could be all kinds of circumstances and situations that actually come together as a stimulant, but it's the grid or the way that they are formed is so massive and intricate, we could never describe it to you. So you have everybody pooling their stuff together in what they are experiencing, and then experiences that will best serve those in their upcoming lifetimes are cultivated from that. So I'm not necessarily getting punished. I'm not planning something for myself. I'm feeling something all the time that is bringing something. Do you understand?
Yeah, I really feel the energy of that. It's like a continual spiral,
Yeah.
just
Never
spiraling
ends.
continually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Susie. Edwin, before we go, there's another just sort of piggyback on the same kind of subject here. So going back to this idea, I'm in this room with all these Japanese people who think Mount Fuji is going to explode. There's a aspect of me that also is inviting that in because otherwise it wouldn't be in my experience. And then being as a understanding these tools, able to release that story in am I able to then what's happening energetically there in that moment? Am I because I'm thinking I'm hearing this, I'm like, this is
Well,
crazy.
it depends if you're hitting on it right or not, because
Mhm.
perhaps one of the reasons you're in the room is you're a person that wants to oppose someone.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
You might have nothing to do with corruption.
Exactly. Exactly.
Is that who you are? Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, a lot. There's a lot of
Yeah.
that.
So you are an oppositional person. So you're going to find yourself in rooms full of people that are going to need opposing. They're going to make your ass so full of it until you can finally recognize I'm being invited into a stream of consciousness because I'm an opposer. Yeah. I
Yeah.
like to oppose people. So now I just recognize that I'm not shamed by it. I don't not like myself in it. I just recognize by my life experience, maybe growing up as a child, maybe my parents, I don't really care because I know I am an opposer because I'm in this situation. So now I just love myself in it. Oh, my life experience probably caused me to be that way. I can see why I'm getting that mirror. I just surrender to it. I just accept myself in what it is that I'm experiencing that has brought something to me. And then I'm actually grateful for those that were doing the discussion on the things that I was going to oppose for being ever so nice to show it to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And being the opposer that I am, um, typically I don't take action unless it's asked of me to do so. So do I continue on that
Would
path?
never be needing to oppose. You would never be asked.
Yeah, well, oftentimes I'm
Not
not, but if it comes up in a conversation, I often voice
come
my
on.
opinion. I often
Not
let
be in your experience. Prove it to yourself.
yeah, yeah.
Start loving yourself in your opposition and start noticing when you have that feeling, and then move to the acceptance and love of self in the way that you felt. Oh, there you go again. Yeah, it's okay. I feel you. Yeah. So I am just acknowledging between the divinity partner and my human aspect, what it is that it's. Look at that human. It's not going to live. It's going to die and rot and fall away. You all know it. Why do you give it so much credence? Why do you think that it's so important what you think, what you feel, what you do, what you say?
Sure. Yep. Yeah, yeah.
Just observe
Well,
yourself in it, and you're going to find out, like you said. So what is it? Oh, we're getting another one with you. Yeah. So there is another aspect of you that stands on the timeline that's getting enacted over and over again, that doesn't really like the fact that you don't speak up, that you have opinions that you hold within yourself because you don't want the controversy, or you have an opposition within you, but you don't necessarily want to live it out or verbalize it. Let's use that term. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. So then it's just to recognize that. You can ponder it a little bit and wonder where I developed that, to have a strong opinion, and to really feel an opposition within myself, but never feel as though I can act on it. One might move to not liking themselves in that, and one might create separation in that way too, you see.
Well, I allow it to reflect back to me the how to navigate, and I try to say, okay, well, where is this resistance to things around me, and then I try to integrate and listen and not be so opposive.
Wouldn't it be nice to not have to do that at all?
Sure, sure, sure. And I'm moving into spaces where I have to do that less and less, but
Yeah.
it still seems to
That's
bother
the
me.
reality that exists. That's the fifth dimensional aspect of you that has been created by opposition, that has been created by not speaking out, is a reality that you have access to, by the way, there where none of that exists, where those kind of people just don't come into your purview. They don't enter your field. You're all creating individual preferred realities that you can join. And you can find yourself in the most pleasant of exchanges without any of the things that are maybe presently aggravating you, simply by recognizing it exists by what you have felt. The opposite exists.
Well, the conflict within the conflict is that the opposing opinions and people are just super nice people that I enjoy being around them. But there's these little things that are just like, okay, I'm not, and I
Well,
don't.
do you know what opposition is? It's the energy flux that one feels in trying to create another's experience, in wishing that they felt different, in wishing they had a different understanding or perspective. You have no influence over that. Everyone has sovereignty. Everyone
Yeah,
creates their own accord.
totally.
So the moment that you get that feeling that you would like to liken someone else to you and what it is that you think and believe, yeah, because if you got into alignment just only with what you thought and believed, and you just loved yourself in that thought and belief, all those that resonated with that would be drawn to you.
Which is kind of happening with, with you guys here in the membership.
We're just having some fun. We're like to have some fun with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's happening. It's just interesting, the reflections and how it's the adjustments, and it's a slow boat that's like the
Well,
Titanic.
and again, don't you're going to sleep again. You didn't even realize it. You just slipped off into unconsciousness because you get to feel your experience in an authentic way. Any
Mhm.
way you feel it. You're not expected to police yourself. You're not here to work on yourself. You're here to feel your experience authentically the way that you do, but be awake to it.
Okay. All right. So if I opinion you guys, there you go. All right. Susie, or no, Susie, I think that your hands for last time. Go ahead, Edwin.
I love this. And Ruben, you're the nicest contrarian I've ever met in my life. This is beautiful. We've been talking a little bit lately about self-love here, and one of the things that I have discovered in my self-love journey is, at least for me, it's a lot about the harmonization of, what you would call the masculine energies and the feminine energies. And I'm curious on, what your comment would be about that. And then also, we were raised in a patriarchy where there's this overabundance of masculine energy in society, and this is what we're sort of taught and trained on. And I'm just curious, what does the harmonization of the feminine and the masculine in a larger context mean within, or for ascension?
Yeah. Well, it would mean that there would be much more vulnerability, much more ability to feel as though one didn't need to have a false facade or to move into competing energy or the idea that they needed to defend anything or be more powerful than anyone else. Yeah. These are some of the traits that go along with the very strong masculine energy. And oftentimes men don't really like themselves in it. They do it out of what they feel is necessity. Sometimes it was expected of them. But then in fact, the softer side of them, they feel as though they could be taken advantage of or perhaps not be as successful as maybe they could be if they did not portray that strength or that feeling of not feeling or emoting. Let's use that term. But you are correct in your assumption that with this shift in consciousness is going to come more balance because your energy centers have to open in order for you to rise in consciousness. A rise in consciousness or enlightenment is not what you think it is. It's more light energy because this is what you are, conductors of light. You open yourself to more light energy that enters your being, and with that light, you rise in consciousness. In a rise of consciousness, different choices are born. So when one rises to a higher level of consciousness, because more light enters their field, the traits that used to be male and female, or more male traits that would be more dominant, maybe that would be such as anger or aggression or these types of things. At higher levels of consciousness, those no longer exist. They are not the choice that one will move to, whether one be male or female. Robin has the experience of telepathy. She gets it in sessions. She gets it with her husband once in a while. She thought, boy, how's this going to work? Maybe we mentioned this before, but when she experienced it, she was quite surprised. Some of the information that came was about her, but it didn't bother her. And she said to us, where's my old response of how I might have felt knowing something that I wasn't supposed to know, quote unquote. When she reached for an old emotive value, it wasn't there. And we said, how do you like the level of consciousness of which telepathy is a part of? And by the way, that's another sense that's going to enter the plane eventually. It's another one of the positive things that are going to happen, is people are going to be able to know. They're going to be able to perceive another in every thought and feeling that they're having. Some people are mortified by this thought because they wonder how they're going to be received. They're thinking some things perhaps that they don't want someone to know. But what you don't realize is that when someone can perceive telepathy and have telepathy, the old ways of thinking and being are not there. You are not responding in third dimensional consciousness anymore. You're responding at a higher level of consciousness, of where the emotions are happiness, joy, acceptance, appreciation, and gratitude for knowing the truth, and no offense, in fact, is taken. So these are the lovely things that are going to happen in the expansion of consciousness. And we think this also contributes to the question that you asked. There's going to be a very natural integration between the male and female traits, and it is going to enhance the experience of everyone.
Beautiful. Just a follow-up connection question that's related to what you just said. Is the skill, let's call it, of telepathy related to empathy? And is growing and working on empathy moving you towards telepathy, or what is the path to telepathy?
Yes. Robin had great empathy. Yes, that was a quality she had her entire life. And empathy is a trait that is often seen in channelers or in people that are doing any type of spiritual connectivity type work, or of the natural healing modalities. Generally, one has telepathy. But it's not something you work towards. It's something that's gifted to a human, and it comes through flow. But we always like to use the analogy, you didn't become a man, you weren't a boy on Friday night and then said, Saturday morning, I want to be a man. You naturally unfolded, your voice cracked and changed, the body hair, the physical attributes of you very naturally unfolded. And then there was this awareness that came with it, quite a distance in the future, of you, I'm different now. I don't think like a boy. I have a different way of being. And that's exactly how your spiritual evolution is going to occur. There's going to be this very natural unfolding, a gradual rise in consciousness. At first, when you first start feeling telepathy and it starts coming to you again, it's coming in a rise of consciousness. It's not coming. Remember, the human just feels its experience. It doesn't effort. It doesn't work for things as much as it thinks it does. It doesn't. It just believes that. But what really is happening is there is a natural flow of energy that's coming you from the divinity part of you. As your consciousness starts to rise, some of the first things you're going to notice with telepathy is you're going to have a knowing. They won't have to tell you. You won't necessarily be communicating back and forth word for word, but you'll start to really trust and to really know exactly what someone is thinking and feeling and needing. And with it won't come any offense. There won't be any judgment or condemning or anger if it's something that you think you shouldn't know. And then as you get used to that and as you start to recognize it, now you think, oh, something's different. So now I'm joining it. I'm actually perceiving it. Once I start going in that direction, I actually open myself more to the flow of it, where it can start to become a steady stream that begins to get enacted between people.
Is it different then? So I've been confirming that a lot of the messages that I've been receiving for a long time and increasingly are coming from my higher self. And the more I seem to confirm that and believe and trust in that, the more constant it is coming. But it sounds like what you're saying is telepathy works a little bit differently. It's more like a gift rather than something. If I feel like a thought that's being communicated between me and another person via telepathy, does my belief in the truth of that have anything
Yes.
to do with that
Belief
being
is
that
everything.
gift?
Belief is
Yeah.
everything. your connectivity, and it's what connects you
Yeah.
to relatives that have passed, those that you want to be interactive with. You cannot have that kind of communication without the belief or perception that it actually exists. We would describe telepathy more as, for example, if Robin were in a session, she could start pondering, I wonder what it is with someone, that what is bothering them. And then immediately she would get the answer. The answer would just come right in like a conduit to her. And then she would be left with the option. Are you going to employ that? Are you going to give that to the person and then have them confirm it? So that was the beginning stage, and that next step of actually taking that communication that was given when a question was answered. That's when the confirmation comes in, and then the telepathy starts to build more and more. But in higher levels of consciousness that are coming in the future, and they are going to come, it's going to get known. It's going to be less running of the mouth and more just being in front of each other and having an exchange or knowing of what it is that someone is wanting to communicate.
Love that.
More
And
like what we're doing. We get what we call a block of thought. We get a question from you. There's a culmination of energy. Robin doesn't hear a word. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't hear word for word. There is a flow or a conduit that is connected to you from the divinity part of you, where you make an inquiry and then in flows the information.
Mm. My rule of thumb has sort of been there are no coincidences in my mind. Anything that pops in is coming from my higher self or it's coming in there for a reason, and I
Yeah,
just believe and trust in it. Is that
follow
a
the
good way
breadcrumb.
of?
Absolutely. That is the
Mm,
most connective thing you can do. Yeah, because it
mm,
is. That's what's happening. Mhm.
mm. I don't see any other hands up, so I want to take on another track if that's okay.
We'll
Uh,
do one last question, Edwin, and then we're
yeah.
gonna let Robin go. She's gotta get to a class. So last one.
Okay. Because I could keep Robin and Athena all night. This is really great. Um, so I've remarked lately that my experience of time is a lot different than it used to be. I'm experiencing it both as fast and slow. Like a week feels like a month, and a week feels like a day. What is that all about?
Well, eventually the whole understanding of or perception of time will change, and part of the change that you are viewing is the way that you feel it. Yeah. So you are taking a look at, like you said, going fast or going very slow. Robin's had the same experience, but then you will come to the realization that neither of those really exists. That really everything exists that has ever been created from you, that it still exists, that it is ever present and accessible to you based upon a feeling or the way that you are feeling. And so we would say that it's probably it's kind of an early stage of the breakdown of your perception of time.
Beautiful. Thanks so much. Thanks for entertaining all my questions today.
Thanks, Edwin. All right. We'll when you're ready, Athena will bring Robin back. Thank you so much for sharing with us today all the great wisdom and fun, fun answers to our questions.
Well, we will leave you with the concept of who you are, what you are. You are light beings. There is no one higher than, better than, bigger than, better off than you are. That every single thing that you have ever lived has made you more, made the universe more, that you are held in great reverence, great appreciation, gratitude. If you would do the same for yourselves, you would connect into a reality that would blow your minds. Never condemn yourselves, never judge yourselves, never hold anything against yourselves, never regret. Every single thing that you have ever lived has made you more. You would never want to take out a single thing that you have ever done because you have been received. You have been received. You have been received. We are complete.
Thank you.
Hi there, I'm back.
All right. Wow. Good stuff today. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry I don't have more time.
Oh, no, no worries. And thanks. We're right here on the 90-minute mark. So we'll let you get to your class. But again, don't be a stranger. We love I think our crew here really loves these interactions and
Okay,
um,
well, I'll see you again someday, maybe. You just reach out.
absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for taking the time and sharing with us.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
All right. Good night. Okay. Wow. another powerful, good session today. I'm gonna take a little break here, but we'll keep it open for everyone to share and maybe talk about some of the concepts that were talked about today. It's super cool. Edwin, I know you got a course coming up, and I've got some questions for that too. So if you don't mind hanging out, we'll come back for that. So it's